Hello and good evening, traditional metal civilization. As many of you have seen already, the video last night was a little bit Benadryl laden induced. So what I'm gonna do, I kind of I looked at the video a little bit more and realized that it was kind of like one of those kind of like when you're drunk and you look at it the next morning, you're like, oh, oh shit, what did I do? So I kind of saw that, but my point does remain the same. Actually, the reason for this video actually is I want to actually, as again I've said, I want to dare to be something different. Dare to do something different. Especially when it comes to like the metal civilization, the metal community that we have. And I'm going to be asking the other administrators to see if they could do this as well. Whether they want to do it in video form or text, that's fine. I'm gonna choose to do mine in video form. I just feel that you can convey the thoughts a little bit better. It's just kind of a way of getting to know your administrators. I know it sounds kind of tacky, but I do find that it's a very good way to actually kind of break the ice, kind of start the new friendships, and I actually find it, even when, people used to do it in school or whatever, but it is a good way to actually, get to know one another. And that's the point I'm really trying to make here. So what I'm gonna do is, I will, I'll start it off with myself. I will try to keep it as brief as I can. I do know that I am a wordy kind of person. Yesterday was probably the shortest video I've ever done. So this one is going to be a little bit longer in length for sure. But I will, I just want to, talk a little bit about myself and try to get, because I want to definitely get to know a lot of you guys too. I want to get to know everyone if I can. And again, even if you're not an administrator and you want to do something like this, feel free. Definitely, I would definitely be interested in looking at it, and I'll definitely give you my comments as well. Um, so, as you guys know, that this is traditional metal civilization, and what I want to do is also talk about things that aren't as metal related. So I'm going to try to keep this as less metal related as I can for this particular thing. You don't have to do that, if you want to do it a certain way. So I'm just going to kind of go ahead right in it and just talk about some of the other things that I do enjoy. I am a big movie person. I'm a huge movie buff. I will go and say that I do. I has since I've been going out with my girlfriend now for the last 6 years. My interest in movies has definitely peaked a bit more than what it has in in recent years. But I do I do enjoy a good flick. My favorite movie of all times is of all time I should say is Planet of the Apes. That is my favorite movie of all time. If I was to pick a movie series, that's probably my favorite, and I know it's a newer one, and a lot of people, that are into fantasy, because fantasy. I mean, I'm not all about fantasy, but fantasy movies are, among my favorite types of movies. If I was to pick a series that is my favorite, and a lot of the people that are fans of Lord of the Rings are probably going to kill me for this one, but pound for pound, my favorite movie series from this generation has been the Harry Potter series. And I can say that with a straight face and a totally serious one. I have been a huge fan of it. The movies got me into the books, which in turn got me back into the movies again. And there's just no denying, the series is one of my favorites. And there's just so much great character interaction, character development that I thought was very good in the movies. It's of course more indicative in the books, but pound for pound, definitely my favorite series, of all time, and especially because it lasted so long. It lasted 8 movies. With of course, the last 2, being Deathly Hollows, part 1 and 2. So that's what I will say. I am a big movie buff. I also enjoy video games. That's actually one of my favorites. Things actually, even probably second, one of my second. Like metal comes first, of course, and that's always been the case, and that'll never change. But video games are definitely a close second. I kind of denied it for years. I said I like, I mean, I don't consider myself a hardcore gamer, but I don't consider myself a casual gamer. I'm more of a casual gamer that plays hardcore games. I've been a fan of video games ever since the NES era. If I was to choose a favorite video game series, that's really a no-brainer for people that know me. It's definitely the Street Fighter series. I've been a fan of it ever since Street Fighter 2, and I have had numerous pretty much I pretty much have every single game in the whole series, and it's a very, very good series. I also do like my other favorite genres are RPGs, action games. I do like the first person shooters that have been coming out, and I try to move with the times. But as I move with the times, I'm a PlayStation gamer. I do go. I do tend to go back more. I do like to, play the classic games, and I am actually in the process of trying to find some of the classic games that, that from my childhood. So, um, trying to think what else. As many of you guys know, I'm a huge fan of dogs. Dogs and pets are my life. I that's something that actually, again, that my girlfriend really brought out in me. When we first started going out, we said, we should try to get a dog, and one dog turned into three, and with each one, it's been a little bit more interesting with our latest dog being a Pomeranian. One thing I will say too is that I do love the pit bull breed, because I do have two pit bulls, and they do get a really bad rap. And honestly, they've showed me that they are the best kind of dogs. That and I trust them with my family, and I trust them with me. For those who don't know, I got into an incident, a few weeks ago. And well, I'm not. If you're interested in hearing more about that, I'm not going to go into that on this. You can ask me about it, or if you do find the interest in it, it was. If you're friends with me on my Facebook page, it's very easy to find. That's just a story for another day, I guess, because I'm pretty much over that. Let me think what else. I know this is I'm really not I'm always more interested in what other people have to say. So when I think of subjects, it just kind of goes. I'm also a big fan of comic books. That's actually something that came. Again, that's more. I know it kind of revolves around the movie kind of thing, but I do like. A lot of the comics. I have been getting into a lot of the more comics from the movies. I'm a big fan of the X-Men series. I'm probably a bigger fan of Marvel comics than anything else. But I have been getting into the DC ones as well. When it comes to Batman and Green Lantern and Superman, I've been actually going back and taking a look. But yeah, that's also a very big basis on really the way of life. That like when there's a lot of different life situations when it comes to comics that they really convey in a very different kind of form. When it comes they deal with a lot of issues like racism and prejudice, and it really does show it really does teach a lot of people about it, and with that in that kind of sense. So that's a big reason why I'm a big fan of comics. But of course it's the amazing stories that some very, very awesome storylines, and I always look forward to a lot of the comic movies. I still do love the comic movies. I know a lot of my friends are kind of mixed on it, but I do like I do like a lot of the comic movies, and I go crazy each year that a new one gets revealed. um, But no, I am a big fan of comics itself. I'm trying to think. I didn't even give basic information. So I'm 31 years old. I live in New Jersey. It's the armpit of the United States, I guess. A lot of people seem to say. I am very. A lot of people will say certain things about the East Coast, or where they live, but I can honestly I don't have any qualms about where I live, and about we have an amazing metal scene, probably the best in the whole country, I'd say. Every single time a band tours or something, they always come here, and it's honestly one of my favorite places to be. I had moved a while back to Texas, back in I call it the older life. For those who know me, again, that's a story for another time, but. And I just didn't see that it just wasn't me. I mean, no offense to people that live there. It's just I'm born and bred a Jersey, New York kind of person, and it's always going to be that way. And that's one of the great things about living here too, is the fact that I really come. Roselle, New Jersey, is very close to Elizabeth and Newark. It's a very predominantly black and Hispanic community over here, and it only showed me that that really showed me a lot of the differences, and how differences can be a really great thing, and how it doesn't really matter what you are or anything. There are always people that are into certain kinds of music, and that even goes beyond music. Kinds of people that you want to associate with, kinds of people that you would consider your friends, and that's really a big thing when it comes to what I'm trying to do here, is just to show people that with unity and with really with unity and friendship, you can really conquer all. And that's a lot of the thoughts I was trying to convey, and they kind of come a little bit slower or quicker depending on I mean, well, they're kind of coming slower, now. But as I get these ideas, there's a lot of brainstorming that actually goes on in my head. But yeah, I am trying to work on better ways to kind of get my point across. And it's just that there's really so much that we want to do. And actually, one of the things, I was actually real inspired tonight. I had talked to an old to one of the admins that we have here, Gary, tonight, through a different kind of way. And this is actually what I was kind of alluding to in my post last night. And that's actually what we're going to be doing. Is I don't want to give too much away, but this is honestly going to be awesome, guys. Really, what we're going to do here. And I saw the way it looked on here, and it was honestly perfect with what I want to do. But yeah, no, that's I just figured I would just say a few things. And again, I want to encourage the administrators or anybody else that wants to. Hopefully, the administrators will definitely want to do this, because I think it's a really good way to get to know one another. So I am going to try to keep it a little bit briefer than my usual videos. We're hitting about the 12-minute mark right now, and I'm just going to try to as again, it's just I want to try to get to know everyone, and it's just a little bit about me, about my background. And that's really about it for now. I thank everyone again for watching, and I do hope to update this on a more constant basis. I'm doing this pretty good, actually. It's a pretty good constant basis. So until next time, this is Traditional Metal Civilization.